I'm Doug Sorrell, and I'm one of 10 people that have been on a committee to bring us to where we are here tonight. In a little bit, I'll be introducing my 9 committee members. I think the significant thing that you need to know is 12 months ago, a handful of us were sitting around a table at the wine shop on the corner. We had 2 donors, $600. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We didn't know what we should do, and we didn't know how we were going to get there. But here we are 12 months later, and we're here tonight to basically give this fabulous space to the community. When you came in this evening, you walked through the Wilson family lobby. The Wilson family very generously have donated $50,000 to this project. Total separate donations to this project total less than 150 sources. 24 of the donors will end up with a star in the sidewalk that'll be installed in the spring. Those are donors that gave money to this project, totally tax deductible contributions of $10,000 or more. Our smallest donor was 9 cents. To me, the 9 cent was very heartfelt. I know it's kind of funny to think about it. I wish I knew who the young man was. I'd invited him here tonight.
Jim Wells.
No. No. Let me tell you about this young man. We were back here in the park, and we were getting ready to set off the fireworks, and we had a little booth set up, and we were talking to people about the Plaza Theatre and what we were going to do, and we were showing some classic movies on DVD, and we had a pickle thing out there with a lid on it and a little poster. And I saw this young man, and I guarantee he didn't know where his next meal was coming from. But I saw him put a nickel and a penny in that bucket. And it was maybe 30, 45 minutes later, I saw him come by the booth. I was talking to some other people, didn't pay a lot of attention. And when we emptied the bucket, there was 9 cents in there. So not only did that young man give me every penny he had, he made 2 trips to do it. And that just to me tells me how this community has embraced this project. Somewhere in here tonight, I think, is Don Boyer and his wife. They gave us $1,000. But what's more important, here's what's more important. They got engaged in the Plaza Theatre 62 years ago. And the admission price was 40 cents per person. And in the last 3 weeks, the Boyer family gave us those 2 tickets to put on display in the lobby of the Plaza Theatre. That's what this project has meant to this community. You know, every decision we make in life, we make with our head or our heart. A lot of people thinking about this said it would never happen. But the people I worked with on this committee, we went out into the community and we talked to them with our heart, and they responded. As of the end of business today, we have raised $432,000 for this project. Our build out was projected at $350. We're going to go a little bit over that. So I get an email from Chris Fine, and David Sweeney, it says we need to raise just a little bit more money. So we did. We went out and we raised that. In the last 10 days, we had over $20,000 come into our treasury to help us get to where we are today. There's one other person I want to recognize before I show you a documentary chronicling how we went from 4 empty walls to where you're sitting tonight. You're sitting in Harrison Auditorium. Signage will go up in the lobby for the Wilson family. Signage will go up in here, letting you know that this is Harrison Auditorium. And when we sat down and talked as a committee about how we were going to do things, we kind of made it up as we went along. But in fact, we really made it up as we went along. But one of the things that I was steadfast about, and I think everyone on the committee as well, was if we brought this project to fruition, this needed to always be called Harrison Auditorium. Because Joe Harrison has been a godsend to the downtown. He has bought buildings and maintained them so other things could happen in them. He is our landlord, but he has given us a 30-year lease on this building that's unbelievable. And Joe Harrison and his family deserve great thanks for what they've done, not only in making this real estate available to us, but what they've done in the rest of the community as well. So, a young lady who graduated from Miamisburg High School, and we're working very closely with the high school. We've in fact told them if they want to host a high school music or film festival, that they can do it here in the plaza. And we're going to do other projects with them as well. In fact, if they want to host a high school film festival, invite the surrounding communities who don't have a space like this to be part of their high school film festival, that's good as well. But one young lady who graduated last May, Mackenzie Cornell, she's in college now, but she spoke to us and was interested in chronicling what we are doing. And she has created a documentary. Now, it isn't finished because she had to put it together. So when you get to the end of the documentary, there will be a chapter which will show it as it is now. But if you would, please, let's watch what Mackenzie has done, and you'll get an idea of where we started to where we are now. Thanks.
Construction supervisor, so to speak, construction coordinator, and my job specifically will be to deal with all of the individual contractors and vendors who will be responsible for outfitting the restoration of the theater. I always loved film. Actually, my father bought me my first projector when I was in the 5th grade. I did, in fact, have the opportunity over the years to get into probably every projection booth in the city of Dayton back in the 60s. I did the reconstruction work in terms of projection and sound for the Salem Mall when it was expanded in the 70s. Went on to do the Continent Cinemas in Columbus, and then the Athena Cinema, which was bought by Ohio University in downtown Athens. I was invited to come back by the university, which I was very proud to have that opportunity.
My name is Katie Frank, and my role at the Plaza Theatre, it really probably began a couple years ago or so, a few years ago, when we were looking at downtown and just trying to figure out the main holes or the pieces of downtown that needed to come back to life that would really have a huge impact on the vibrancy of downtown. And the Plaza Theatre was one of those pieces. When I first moved to Miamisburg about 9 years ago, I remember driving by and the lights were on outside front of the theater. The lights were flashing, and I remember being so excited because I thought, wow, this is really a cool town, and I'm excited to have a theater here. And then I found out it wasn't open, and even 9 years ago, I thought we need to get this thing open. So my role in the last year or so has been working with the committee and doing everything I can as far as helping get people together, get people on the same page. I've had a hand in some of the social media, technology, promoting, marketing, that sort of thing, just to do whatever I can to help get the word out there.
My name's Andy Chance, and I'm on the committee to reopen the Plaza Theatre. I just find it fantastic that Miamisburg downtown has gone through a rebirth in the last 5 to 10 years, and I think this theater is just going to be part of that rebirth. Actually, I do recall this theater being open when I was very young. Doesn't happen too often today, but my mother used to drop my brother and I off here. I was maybe 7, he was 5, and we'd spend the afternoon at the Plaza Theatre.
Hi, I'm Doug Sorrell, and I'm a native of Miamisburg, and was invited to become a part of this group. And I'm kind of, I suppose you'd call it, the reluctant face of the project. I worked in the radio and the TV business. I've been an auctioneer for 35 years. This community has been so good to me and my family since the 1930s that I would like to do something that will last longer than I will, and will be here for not only this generation, but those coming.
Can we edit this? Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. My name is David Sweeney. I'm the owner of DPS Architects, a local firm in Miamisburg, and we are the architects for the renovation project. I have a passion for historical architecture. I certainly also have a passion for architecture that is important to me and my community. Basically provide a project that is reasoned but has thoughtful, careful consideration to design.
I am Bonnie Nolan, and I am one of the board members for the Plaza Theatre. And about 9 years ago, other teacher friend of mine and I decided that we were going to open up a wine shop, and we opened a Taste of Wine.
And what do you hope to accomplish by restoring the theater?
I think it was something that was missing to bring people back downtown, give them something to do, visit the restaurants, go grab a drink somewhere, ice cream, come and enjoy a movie, something that the kids can be doing with them as well. So just another destination to get people to downtown Miamisburg.
My name's Jim Dunham, one of the co-owners of TJ Chumps. We opened up our restaurant over 13 years ago now, and we opened up a restaurant in a downtown that was deteriorating. A lot of the storefronts were closed, and Terry and I, my partner, were residents in Miamisburg, and we decided that we would wanted to open up a restaurant and try to help revitalize the downtown. And 13 years ago, that's what we did, and we've found success in Miamisburg. And I think the next phase for downtown Miamisburg is to try to make it into an urban area where people will move and live downtown. And part of that, I think, is why the Plaza Theatre is an important part of the downtown area, and that's why we need to get it opened up.
I'm Clint Morton with Farmers and Merchants Bank, and I am the senior lender and senior vice president and one of the original members that came together to start this effort to reopen the Plaza Theatre. I've worked in banking and financial services for the past 16 years and have been at Farmers and Merchants Bank for the last almost 7 years. Primarily work with small business owners and real estate investors on commercial loans. We see this project as being one of the vital, pivotal pieces to keeping downtown moving in the right direction.
My name is Chris Fine. I work for the City of Miamisburg. I'm the development director, and I have been working with the Plaza Theatre Association. I kind of serve as the liaison between the Plaza Theatre Association and Downtown Miamisburg, Inc. Bringing the Plaza Theatre back to life really will be a jolt to the downtown economy. It's going to bring a lot of people down to watch movies. Those people will hopefully spill out into the streets, buy things from our retailers, buy food from our restaurants, and really add to the vibrancy of downtown.
What's your inspiration with you being part of this project?
Well, I have a personal interest in this. You know, I like old buildings. I like movies. I think there's an opportunity to create something really special here that really will benefit the downtown community. And obviously, as my role as a development director for the city, this is one of my work responsibilities too. So it kind of hits me on both sides.
My name is Terry Brill. I'm the co-owner of TJ Chumps in Miamisburg. And, you know, part of the reason I'm here is because we want to see the revitalization of this downtown, and this is part of the extension of that, is putting this movie theater back in circulation. As a business owner, you know, I've been down here for over 15 years, and you know, again, I'm just part of the community, and we've been involved over that time and seen a lot of changes, and you know, we just are excited about this project.
You know, one of my favorite scenes is, oh my goodness, I can't even, there's too many.
I do have a rooster cogburn. Well, baby, sister, it's good of you to undertake doing this documentary, and it's good to be in movies again.
I would say one thing when I'm saying goodbye, sometimes it's the, you know, when Jim Carrey, you know, he tells her, shh, just go.
Well, I think one of the best would probably be Star Wars, and hopefully we'll get the ability to show Star Wars. And at the end of the movie, when they are looking to destroy the Death Star, and they're flying over the target, and the guy's like, stay on target, and they drop the missile in the correct location, and the Death Star blows. That's a classic.
The scene where they get robbed by a little old lady on a motorized cart, that's one of my favorite scenes.
One of my favorite scene, I believe, is probably, you know, the one where he invents time and he's getting chased by the bad guys, and you know, they go back in time, and you know, and the clock tower scene. I mean, there's a lot of different scenes. It was a great movie.
You know, I don't do impressions, quite frankly, but no, if someone were to ask me about favorite film, my list would go on forever.
What movie would I like to see? Well, I don't know how you could limit that to one. Our format is going to be classic movies, and it's classic movies from, you know, the 30s all the way up to, you know, a year or two ago. So I'd say my films would probably be in the, you know, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Those classics like Animal House and so forth that I'd like to see again.
I think all the James Bond movies are always fun, and so those will be a good ones to do a big series of.
Oh, and Jaws. Hopefully we'll get to show Jaws. One of the classic lines is when the police chief walks out on the boat. Or no, he's already on the boat. They see the shark for the first time at water, and he goes back to the captain and says, "We're gonna need a bigger boat."
Jaws, I really like Jaws. it was scary, but Gone with the Wind, that hits me as being the most classic movie that I've ever seen.
Well, I'm a child of the 80s, so I like a lot of 80s movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Back to the Future, those kind of movies.
Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Join me, I'd like you to thank these people for the dedication that they've shown to bringing this project to fruition. While they're walking up here, as soon as this part of the introduction is over, we do have a presentation from our state rep, and we want to thank Niraj for being here and State Senator Peggy Lehner as well. We're going to have a drawing and give away this Star Wars poster. Now, when we bought this a year ago, we didn't know the new Star Wars movie was going to be released tomorrow, or that it's expected to be the largest box office open ever. But this actually is, there's only 25 of them in the world. We have number 23 of 25. It's signed by 29 actors of the first 6 Star Wars movies, George Lucas and John Williams. In my work as a charity auctioneer, I knew this existed, and one of them sold at an event last spring in Connecticut for $4,500. Tonight somebody's getting it for free. So, Bonnie Nolan, Jim Dunn, Andy Chance, Chris Fine, David Sweeney, Clint Morton, Katie Frank. These people Kelly, where are you, Kelly? You missed the rehearsal? Kelly, can you not make it up here? We expect you to be here. You know, at the rehearsal this afternoon, she was late as well. Up in the booth, blinding me with that follow spotlight, is Jack Berkmeyer. He may actually be over here. Put the spot on Jack. These are the people that have created this space that you're sitting in tonight, and we hope our community embraces going forward. 2 of them I especially want to, you really don't need to put that on me. It kind of blinds me. So, you know, I'm on a stage, I have a microphone, I'm in a tuxedo, I feel the urge to auction something as it is. That spotlight just makes it worse. There are a couple of people that I especially think were very important to this project. And so you know, this was not Doug's project. This was all of our project. But David, we had ideas, but David Sweeney joined this board, and he had a vision. And this is David's vision. And I think it's spectacular. And on the technical side, the man who's going to be our theater manager, our paid employee, and be running this house, has done 3 World's Fairs, worked for Epcot and Disney, American Film Institute, National Geographic, and the Kennedy Center in D.C. He sent me an email last January 9th, and I was smart enough to answer it. And he relocated here from Jamestown, New York, up about 40 miles east of Erie, Pennsylvania. Very, very valuable to us. He's forgotten more about all this stuff than we will ever know. Jack Berkmeyer. Jack, thank you. Everybody had a skill set, and they all brought it to the fore, and I want to thank you. This, you know, it's been work. It's been a task, but it's kind of been a joy as well. And really, tonight, we are here to give the Plaza Theater to the community. So, thank you.
And I just want you to know we are standing on the Doug Sorrell stage. Without this man, we would not be here tonight because Doug went out and he believed in this project and really got most of the money for this. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks. Nice shoes. We're going to the next part of the program because we need to show a movie. And I do want to introduce Niraj. And I don't know if that mic is on or not. 10 years ago, I would have jumped off this stage. But now I think I'm going to walk around and come down the ramp. Here, let me hand you this one. I know it works.
Well, I've got something to hand to you, so I'm going to need you down here. Peggy, would you like to join me wherever you are? So thank you to Doug and the committee members for having me. You know, as I was driving back from Columbus today, I was trying to think of what I was going to say. And usually at these sorts of events, you know, your state rep and your state senator will try to take credit for what is happening, because that's what politicians do. But really, for this, you know, these 10 individuals you saw up on this stage have done a fantastic thing for the Miamisburg community. And I really have nothing else to say but that it is this opening and events like this that make me very, very proud to have been born and raised in Miamisburg. And as the mayor says, great things are happening in Miamisburg. So I just have a small token of appreciation on behalf of the State Senate, the State House, and the entire General Assembly of the state of Ohio, congratulating all of you that were involved in this project on what you're doing to make Miamisburg a better community. Thank you.
I am a politician, so I do have to say something. But when I was first elected to the Ohio House 8 years ago, one of the first things I did was I came to Miamisburg for a tour of the city with your mayor. And this is one of the buildings he showed me. And it didn't look anything like this. No. It didn't look anything like it. But I remember the mayor talking about how this was a dream that this community would reopen this building. And every year since then, I've said, how's that theater coming? And
well, let me ask you, how's it coming?
It is awesome. Absolutely awesome. It is a dream come true, and I know you had the hugest role in that. And thank you, Doug. From the entire community is going to benefit from this, not just Miamisburg. So thank you.
You're from Miamisburg?
Yes, sir.
I want you to go right over here in this fish tank. There are 5,138 entries, and you need to draw out one of them, and this is the master list. So while we're going through our movie, we will go through and determine who has won this Star Wars signed montage. Are you sure that's the ticket you want?
Yes.
Okay.
Only if the losers don't blame me.
Well, see, nobody knows who has what ticket.
All right.
Because as people donated $100 or more, they were assigned numbers, and we issued 5,128 numbers. So we will go back there with this. We'll determine who actually has won this. I want to thank you. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. We want you to go out, and we want you to bring your families and tell your friends. This poster up here is going to be our first movie. We're going to show it Christmas Day and Christmas Day only at 2, 4:37, and 9:30. And because for years nobody thought this would ever happen. Chris Fine had the idea that if we build it, they will come. So it's appropriate that we will show Field of Dreams as our first movie. This is a movie poster signed by the 10 original committee members. There's a plate on the bottom of it, says Plaza Theatre, December 25th, 1919, reopened December 25, 2015. If you build it, they will come. And it lists those 10 people. That's what this poster is. So, I think it's time to maybe run our trailer that will run before every show that we have in the Plaza Theatre. At this point, we will show a cartoon when we get that contract worked out with Looney Tunes. And then we will go into the underwriter for the film that week. And this will be a trivia question 20 years from now. The first ever underwriter of a movie in the Plaza Theatre is the coffee cup. And so now we're delighted to offer to you from 1974, directed and produced by the son of the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, Jack Haley Jr.'s That's Entertainment. Thank you for being here.